Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Make Europe Great Again conference. After Bucharest, Brussels, Salonique, Chisinau, and Warsaw, we are together today at the 6th edition of Mega in Dubrovnik. And I don't want to start without thanking to this edition co-organizer, Domina Party, through Mr. Steven Bartulica, member of the European Parliament. International Organization for the Family, Mr. Brian Brown. College Republicans of America, and of course, Turning Point USA. Because this is a special edition dedicated to Charlie Kirk, young fighter for democracy, nation, freedom, normality, but especially for the freedom of speech. Unfortunately, there are people who campaign against these values that are so precious to our societies, and some are so hardened that they even kill. Freedom of expression is priceless. I teach journalists for 10 years, and I try at every opportunity to explain to my students how important it is and why they should value it. They did not live under the communism and did not feel censorship or self-censorship. We Romanians, after 1989, believed that dictatorship will no longer exist. But recent years indicate that a different kind of dictatorship is desired worldwide. Despite that, today at Mega Dubrovnik, we brought together members of the European Parliament, national leaders, cultural figures, and opinion makers from both sides of the Atlantic for private dialogue and strategic collaboration, united in our commitment to the principle Charlie loved. We have participants here today from Belgium, Croatia, France, Greece, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovenia, Spain, United Kingdom, and United States of America. Thank you all for being here. In this edition, as you saw the program, we will talk about Charlie Kirk's impact, a turning point for the conservative movement in the 21st century. Free speech or regulated speech, identifying ways to defend freedom of expression, what defines Europe, cultural heritage, tradition, and the role of family, the legacy of Charlie Kirk mobilizing a new generation of conservatives. And I want to begin this night with our first speaker, who is born in the United States of America with a degree in political science at the University of Missouri. And after graduating in 1992, he moved to Croatia, where he was employed at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He later earned a doctorate in political philosophy and ethics at the Political Gregorian University, was active in Croatia 2013 Croatian constitutional referendum on the definition of marriage and opposed the ratification of the Istanbul Convention. In 2020, he was elected as a member of the Croatian Parliament, and since 2024, he has been serving as a member of the European Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud Mr. Steven Bartulica.
Thank you for that kind introduction. Before I give my opening remarks, allow me to say a few words for our Croatian audience and for the media here, and then I'll switch to English, so don't worry, all you who have come from abroad. Dragi prijatelji, dragi uzvanici, svi koji ste poštivali lik i djelo pokojnoga Charlieja Kirka, velika mi je čast što vas mogu pozdraviti ovdje u Dubrovniku, u gradu Slobode, na 6. izdanju Make Europe Great Again konferencije. Veliki napor je uložen kako bi se ovaj događaj ostvario. Bilo je puno prepreka, htjeli smo u što kraćem roku dati počast Charliju. To je bio čovjek koji cijeli svoj život je predao borbi za istinu. Nikad nije svoje sugovornike omalovažavao, niti vrijeđao. Uvijek je govorio iz kršćanske ljubavi. Na kraju krajeva to je i on bio, jedan kršćanski apologet, čovjek koji nije se sramio vjere u Isusa Krista i širio je tu poruku diljem Amerike. I na kraju je na javnom događaju, kao što svi znate, u državi Utah, hladnokrvno ubijen ispred 3000 ljudi. Njegova žena, Erika, je bila nazočna. Charlie je imao 2 djece, dakle, kćer i sin, a sin mu ima 1 godinu dana. I kad se malo razmisli koje su reakcije uslijedile nakon njegovog ubojstva, ne samo u Americi, nego i u Hrvatskoj. Razni likovi u medijskom prostoru su opravdavali taj zločin, govoreći da je on i onako bio Trumpov saveznik, pa šta je mogao očekivati. Neki nisu mogli ni sakriti veselje što je čovjek na takav način jednostavno pogubljen. I tu se nalazimo danas, znate. Puno se govori o ljudskim pravima, o slobodama, o demokraciji, ali za neke to je jednosmjerna ulica. Njih ne zanima drugo mišljenje. Od kad sam izabran kao europarlamentarac, obećao sam svojim biračima da ću dosljedno braniti njihove interese. Ne samo to, nego ću braniti kršćanski identitet Europe. Europska civilizacija je najbolja civilizacija koju je čovječanstvo ikad vidjela. Nemamo se čega sramiti. A danas svim ideolozima i aktivistima poručujemo da nećemo stati, ustrajat ćemo. Njihovo zastrašivanje i razne metode usijanje straha neće uspjeti. Vidi se već u Americi što se događa. Mladi ljudi i oni koji su do nedavno bili neutralni masovno se opredjeljuju sad za istinu, vraćaju se pravim vrijednostima. I na kraju ću samo reći da je ova odluka nedavna od američkog predsjednika da proglasi Antifu terorističkom organizacijom, konačno, imat će ozbiljne implikacije i za Europu, pa i za Hrvatsku. Nek razmisle svi radikalni ljevičari koji su do sada maltretirali ljude svojim nonsensom, od rodne teorije nadalje. Pokušavaju sad nametnuti jedan nakaradni, takozvani zdravstveni odgoj školama. Besramno, mimo roditelja. Tomašević se čudi što se roditelji bune. Ko ih pita uopće? On ima svoju agendu. Rekao da će se baviti komunalnim temama, a vidimo sad što ga sad stvarno zanima u drugom mandatu. Naša djeca. Neće proći. Neće jednostavno proći. So I'll switch to English after that Croatian introduction. I want to first thank many people who helped this event happen. First of all, my friend George Simion from Romania. I'm proud to call him my friend, and I was in Bucharest before the second round of your elections, and I know what happened there. It must not be repeated, these kinds of injustices. shamelessly, really, especially from the French. Brian Brown from the International, where's Brian? Organization for the Family, a very loyal friend. We had many obstacles in organizing this event, but we simply would not accept the option of not doing this conference in honor of Charlie Kirk. And so a lot of effort went into this, and I'm very grateful also to my team and my staff, George's staff, for all the work they've done in the last several weeks. It's not an easy thing to put together in a short period of time. We have a very good list of speakers. I would like to especially thank Rod Dreher. I think it's your first time in Croatia, so Rod, welcome to our beautiful country. Also, Stephen Moore. Where's Stephen? Is he in the audience somewhere? Stephen from the Leadership Institute. Yes, so Stephen made it from Washington, D.C., also someone who personally knew Charlie Kirk, was hired by Charlie Kirk, and took the time to travel to Dubrovnik to be with us and to share his personal experience, how Charlie made an impact on his life. I think he's looking from heaven, and he's smiling at events, hopefully like this, that will be happening all around the world, I'm sure. I want to encourage all of you to stay till the end. Tomorrow is a packed day of panels. I look forward to meeting you. I think the conservative movement now is not just growing, but it has a new energy that I have not seen in recent years, and we have to build on this. This is very important. What Trump is doing, no one thought possible several years ago. I think the left, which is frankly doubling down on these nonsensical issues like gender, will not regain the White House for many elections to come, frankly, for many elections to come. But we have to fight in Europe. The European Union is a different sort of battle, and I see this up close at the European Parliament. So again, it's an honor, really a privilege for me to host you here. I look forward to the panels. Like I said, we've carefully chosen the speakers. I want to thank in advance everyone who has taken the time to come to Dubrovnik. Many said it would be easier to do this in Zagreb, but I think Dubrovnik actually is an appropriate place, not just because of its natural beauty. It has a great history in freedom, in protecting basic, not just freedoms, but this idea of limited government, keeping politics out of people's lives and allowing us to flourish and use our God-given reason and talents to raise our families and prosper. That's what it's all about. That's why we should be in politics. So thank you again. Long live Europe, long live Western civilization. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bartulica. Now, from America, one of the most known conservative voices and trusted ally of Charlie Kirk and the Turning Point USA movement. As an honorary and advisory board member of TPUSA, he has stood alongside Charlie in shaping a new generation of bold patriots defending faith, freedom, and free markets. A leading anchor on Newsmax and Fox News, Eric has used his national platform to challenge censorship, expose corruption, and amplify the voices of those too often silenced by the mainstream. Through his work in media and activism, he continues to bridge the power of truth and television, providing the courage and conviction still have a place in America public square. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Bolling. Please, the video.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends across Europe and beyond, thank you for inviting me into your world today. It's an honor to speak to you as we embark on this pivotal conference, a gathering not just of minds, but of hearts, united in defense of what makes us who we are. As we come together here, I want to begin by paying tribute to a true warrior for our shared values, Charlie Kirk. Charlie, through his tireless work with Turning Point USA, has ignited a fire in the souls of young people across the world. He's reminded an entire generation that freedom isn't given, it's fought for, that the family isn't a relic, it's the bedrock of society, that faith isn't optional, it's the compass that guides nations through storms, and that our nations, our sovereign homelands, are not mere administrative zones, but sacred trusts passed down from our ancestors. Charlie's voice has echoed from American campuses to European squares, calling us to reject the erosion of our heritage. Today, as we honor his legacy in this conference, we say, Charlie, your fight is our fight. Europe hears you, and the world stands ready to carry the torch that you lit and burns today. But let's be clear, this isn't just a tribute, it's a call to arms. It's a call to action. Europe, the beautiful, battered continent, is under siege, not from armies at the gates, though threats that loom on their borders, just as they do in North America. No, the attack is far more subtle, more insidious, a calculated assault on the very values that define us all: family, faith, nation. These are the pillars that built cathedrals, forged empires, and inspired symphonies. Yet today, they're dismissed as outdated, as obstacles to some borderless utopia peddled by the elites in Brussels and beyond. Think about it, the family, that sacred bond of mother, father, child, is being redefined and diluted by ideologies that prioritize the individual over the collective, the fleeting over the eternal. In France, as in so many of our countries around the world, we see birth rates plummeting, marriages crumbling under the weight of cultural relativism. Who benefits? Certainly not our children, who grow up adrift without roots, not our societies, which weaken when the family weakens. We must reclaim the family as the first school of virtue, the cradle of future patriots. It's not conservative nostalgia, it's sheer survival. And faith, faith, the light that pierced the dark ages, the force that toppled tyrants and built hospitals for the poor. Christianity, woven into Europe's DNA from the shores of the Mediterranean to the fjords of Scandinavia, and yet now it's mocked in classrooms, marginalized in public squares, and supplanted by a hollow secularism that offers no solace, no moral anchor. We've seen churches turned into mosques or museums, while radical voices demand we apologize for our own history. This is not tolerance, it's erasure. Faith isn't just personal, it's the soul of a nation. Without it, we're adrift and even prey to every passing wind of ideology. We must defend our churches, our crosses, our creeds, not out of fear, but out of a fierce love for the God who made us free. Well, then there's nation. Oh, how we've tried to steal this word from us. Nation state branded as backward, replaced by a faceless European project that dilutes languages, borders, very identities. In France, very acutely, waves of unchecked migration that strain their welfare systems, challenge their laws, and fracture their communities. In Romania, in Poland, in Italy, the story, very similar. Elites lecture citizens on diversity while erasing the unique tapestry of your peoples. But a nation is not a hotel, it's a home, defended with blood and built with sacrifice. And sovereignty is non-negotiable. We say no to the globalists who would turn Europe into a bland superstate, and yes to a Europe of proud, independent nations, cooperating as brothers, not dissolving as subjects. These attacks are coordinated, relentless, from gender theories infiltrating schools to economic policies that favor multinationals over workers, from censorship of dissenting voices to the outsourcing of your security. It's a genuine war on mega and MAGA and all of our way of life. And if we don't stand now, who will? Our children? Our grandchildren? No. The time is here. The front lines are everywhere. In parliaments, in streets, in homes. That's why I am thrilled to nod to and stand with the Make Europe Great Again movement. MEGA, it's not a slogan, it's a surge. It's a tidal wave of patriots rising to reclaim our destiny, our collective destiny. Inspired by the unyielding spirit that swept America under President Trump, MEGA channels that same energy across the continent. It's about making Europe great again, not through division, but through unity in truth. Unity against Brussels, bureaucracy that smothers innovation and freedom. Unity for a Europe that honors its Christian roots, protects its borders, and empowers its families. And leading this charge is a man to be admired deeply, George Simion. George, with his unapologetic nationalism and his vision for a Europe of nations, embodies the fight we are all in. George Simion has shown what courage looks like, protesting stolen elections, championing sovereignty, and refusing to bow to the globalist machine. George will take the stage after my remarks today, delivering the keynote that will light the path forward. I have no doubt George's words will rally Europe, just as your actions have inspired so many all the way from New York to Miami and beyond. Brother, the floor is yours soon, but know this, from Ohio to Texas to Florida, right here, we're with you. MEGA will prevail because leaders like you remind us that victory is not a dream, it's a decision. Friends, this conference, a tribute to Charlie Kirk and a launch pad for MEGA, is your Alamo, your turning point. Let's leave here not as spectators, but as soldiers in this noble cause. Defend your family with love and firmness. Nurture your faith with prayer and witness. Love your nation with pride and vigilance. Together, we will repel this attack. We will rebuild stronger, freer, greater. Europe is waking up, and when it does, the world will tremble, not in fear, but in awe of your renewed glory. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Stephen Bartulica, for organizing this great event, and thank you, Turning Point, for your fight. That was Charlie Kirk's fight, and we all gathered here today and tomorrow in Dubrovnik, in Croatia, to honor Charlie Kirk. The fire Eric talked about, it's not American, it's not European, it is universal. The same fire that Charlie Kirk lit in America now burns everywhere across the free world. And I saw it burning also in Zagreb, in the Hippodrome, in the concert of Marko Perković Thompson. And I really saw, and I really liked what I saw, because Croatia is awakening and Europe is awakening. I saw this last month in London when over 1 million Englishmen, 1 million Brits were on the streets to raise the colors and to defend the freedom of speech. Charlie was a believer and was a courageous individual. Jesus Christ said, "Take courage, it is I, so fear not." Charlie Kirk was a Christian, was a believer, and Charlie Kirk died for fighting for the same ideas we are fighting for. He fought for the truth, and he was called far, far right, because he was right, protecting the truth against those who are far, far wrong. It is our duty in these days to take an example from Charlie Kirk and to see what is happening in the European Union. Our continent is under siege from within, and we are fighting not with armies, but with bureaucrats and with unelected elites who do not like democracy when they do not win the elections, who annul elections, who cancel the freedom of speech, who smear us and who label us as far right just because we are standing up for values like freedom, like family, like Christian faith, and like nations, because we stand up for our borders. I liked it when Stephen earlier said a word that is so similar in Romanian. He said, dragi prieteni, dragi prieteni, I'm honored to be a part of the mega movement, which means that we are the army of the rebellion of nations that refuse to die. The European Commission today is pushing countries that defend borders and defend faith. We fight for our identity, and make no mistake, identity is not hate. The same event that is organized today in Dubrovnik, Croatia, is organized also in Italy and in many other European countries at exactly 1 month that our hero was shot. Borders are not a danger. Borders are promises to protect and to belong. We protect our families, we protect the safety of our continent, and we protect our civilization. It is our duty, and seeing so many of you, we have people also from Greenland. I'm happy to see Jürgen here. We have people that have been to previous 5th editions of the mega conferences. We are one, and we are the same both in America and in Europe. It is our duty to win this fight. And together with you, Croatian friends that are here in the audience, we will prevail. Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. George Simion. And now we are going to our next speaker tonight. He is the president of the International Organization for the Family since 2016. Hosts the annual World Congress of Families, which bring together thousands of pre-family activists from around the world to be trained and equipped to advocate for the family. He also served as president of the International Organization for Marriage after having co-founded the organization in 2007, an Oxford University educated and articulate advocate for marriage. He is a sought-after speaker who has addressed hundreds of gatherings throughout the country and internationally. Now it's coming in front of you, Mr. Brian Brown.
Great to be here with you. Great to be here with George. He's been such a leader, and I've been blessed to be a part of these Make Europe Great Again conferences. And Stephen Bartulica, a good friend, standing up in the European Parliament for truth. I want to step back a little bit. Where did this all start? Where did we get the idea that political violence was something that could be accepted? Where did we get the idea that it was okay that people who stood up to speak truth could be attacked, could be called fascists, could be lied about, could be mistreated? In 2007, I moved to California to help lead the fight to define marriage as the union of a man and a woman in the Constitution of California. Everyone I knew in Washington, D.C. said, "Are you insane? You will never win. You're never going to do this in California. And through a lot of blessings, some luck, providence, and some great political consultants, we moved the dial from 36% support for marriage as the union of a man and a woman to ultimately winning the largest social issue ballot initiative in history, where we changed the Constitution of California to define marriage as the union of a man and a woman with a vote of 52.6%. That was a great victory. But after that victory, I saw multiple death threats on my life, anthrax, fake anthrax sent to the Knights of Columbus headquarters, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints headquarters attacked, men like Brendan Eich, who was a Silicon Valley genius with Mozilla and Firefox, JavaScript, kicked off his board. But more importantly, regular Americans who stood up and gave money. There was a list created called the Hate Map. So a lady who gave $100 to Proposition 8 had Antifa folks show up at a restaurant and physically attack her. And she was fired. She did nothing wrong. And this grew, until we decided that a former president could be attacked by Letitia James and others in power, a fake felony brought against him, and all those who work with him, like the former chairman of my board, Dr. John Eastman, has his law license removed, is brought up on charges in multiple states, has himself death threats, and the language didn't stop. MSNBC kept going. Those of us who believe in life, who believe in family, who believe in freedom, who believe in our nations, our culture, our traditions, we're normal. We're fighting for what our parents and grandparents believed in. This isn't some crazy esoteric idea, and yet we're told we're the bad guys. And it's not just enough to say we're the bad guys. It's enough, they want to view us as evil so we can be treated as evil. If you say for long enough that a certain group of people are fascists, ultra-right-wing, inspiring hatred, when I simply have a bus that says a boy is a boy and a girl is a girl and no law can change it, and I'm told in the state of New York that I should remove my bus, and that when Antifa attacks the bus and attacks me physically, it's my fault, something has gone wrong. So this leader of not only young people but old, but especially young people, Charlieja Kirka, stands up and says the most simple truths. Believe in God, go to church, get married, have a family. And he's willing to go to college campuses to argue this truth. It resonates because too many aren't saying the truth because they're afraid. And so, when he says the simple truth that a man is a man and a woman is a woman, that you cannot change your sex, that we are embodied souls, and that we have a great gift to be male and female, and after years of ratcheting up the attacks on us, a violent group of trans terrorists arise up. They tried to kill one of our Supreme Court justices, and they kill him. There's no self-reflection on the left to say maybe we were wrong. The time is now to stand. And what I saw my children. I saw my friends' children. I saw my sons weeping at the news. I saw my father-in-law who's got dementia and watching Charlieja Kirka crying. Why? because Charlie refused to live or speak a lie. The greatest tribute we can give to Charlie Kirk is to not care what they say about us, is to know that living the truth and speaking the truth is the right of every human being, and that we have been gifted with our culture, with our tradition, with our nations, with our faith, and that no man and no government and no radical ideology can ever stop us. So I pray that each of you embrace these core and simple truths that Charlie was willing to stand for, and never, ever, ever be ashamed to speak out what you know is true and to live your life in this truth every day. God bless you, and God bless Europe.